I look around at the pillars and marble floor, the bright lights above me, and what looks like a garden complete with statues extending out through the archways. Well, at least I know Amicus wasn't lying about living in a palace. What do you think? Wow, I mean, it looks really cool, really expensive. I don't know if that last part was such a great compliment, but Amicus seems happy. Thanks. It's gonna be your home for a while, so I'm glad you like it. Amicus adjusts his cape, fanning it out a little. This is only a small portion of the palace, of course. I'll show you around later, but for now, I want to go to my room and dry out a little. I must look like a mess right now. The humidity doesn't do my fur any favors. I can tell Amicus is genuinely embarrassed, even if he's trying to joke, so I put up a hand to my hair. I have a little less to worry about, but I'm sure my hair is pretty crazy right now. True. That patch of fur really is something, though. The wolf reaches out and touches my hair, rubbing it between the pads of his fingers. We've made physical contact several times over the last day, but this is the first time that it really feels friendly. We stand there for a moment, just long enough for things to get awkward. Amicus pulls his hand back suddenly, as if realizing what he's doing. He's saved from having to think of something to say as we both hear footsteps coming up the hall to our right. Shit! What? Hide and be quiet! Amicus whispers loudly at me and suddenly pushes me hard back the way we came. I stumble before scrambling around the corner. The footsteps get louder as I stand up and press my back against the wall, listening. Amicus! I jump, the person almost shouting Amicus's name. Cassius? Amicus's deeper voice responds, sounding cool and collected. Where the hell have you been? His voice is higher pitched and a little more articulate than Amicus's. I start to look around the corner, then hesitate. Then I do it anyway, wanting to see who this person is. Luckily, Amicus has moved further down the room so that I'm slightly behind this Cassius guy. I see a white wolf, quite a bit smaller compared to Amicus, but no less intimidating. Maybe even more so. I can tell by his demeanor that he's probably not a fun person to be around. I was out hunting. Is something wrong? Hunting? For 2 days? Is that a joke? Was it that long? Yes! You were supposed to make a speech in Lux yesterday. How many times did we remind you of it? Cassius suddenly takes a deep breath. Really, Amicus, you seem to expect everyone to cover up your mistakes. I can't comprehend how you could have forgotten. I lost track of time. That's not an excuse. How do you expect to become emperor if you act this way? Amicus growls. Don't even pretend, Cass. You're probably happy I missed it. That's ridiculous. Amicus, I only want what's best for the Empire. Amicus opens his mouth, then shuts it suddenly. No, I'm not doing this tonight. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Cassius quietly regards Amicus for a moment, then shakes his head. Well, Virginia went in your stead, so you have her to thank when she returns. She's better at that sort of thing anyway. The point was to show Lux that the next possible emperor stands in solidarity with them. Sending your sister is not a good look. Well, walking around in undergarments doesn't look good either. You think that's how an emperor should behave? No one's awake, Amicus. Don't be such a pup. I'm just saying, you look really small without your armor. Now, that is not a good look for an emperor. Excuse me? What? I only want what's best for the Empire, and a little runt like you definitely isn't. They stare at each other for a long time, and though I have no idea what's going on, I can almost see the electricity arching between them. Finally, Cassius turns on his heel and stalks away, tail swishing furiously. Good night, Amicus. Amicus stands there for a moment, still puffed out a little before he finally deflates. Damn it! I stand quietly around the corner, waiting for Amicus to call me back. When he doesn't, I whisper at him. Amicus? His ears prick up and he turns to me. Hey, come on. We should go before anyone else decides to show up. Okay. I can tell by the way the wolf walks, his ears slightly down, his tail almost dragging, that he's not in a good mood. You alright? Yeah, I'm fine. My brother just knows how to irritate me. And I shouldn't have said that to him. We quietly walk through the marble halls, the echoing of our footsteps the only sound. Is he not supposed to see me? I just need to think of the right way to introduce you. Now isn't the best time. Is he the one that challenged you for the throne? Amicus is quiet for a moment before heaving a huge sigh. Yes, and he's really starting to turn my life upside down because of it. Sometimes I think he just sees this all as a game. We come to a stop at what looks like a door. It's completely smooth, though, made of what also looks like marble. Amicus doesn't make any move to open it. And you know, he never seemed concerned for me and my duties until after he made his challenge. That's what bothers me the most, knowing that it's all an act. I guess you're not really close with him. You're not really close with him then? Not since we were pups, no. A disturbing thought suddenly hits me. Well, you know, in Earth's ancient Rome, the place where you guys uplifted, people would kill each other over the throne. Like, a lot. Does that happen here? Amicus frowns. I suppose it's happened in the past, but that was a long time ago. Besides, Cassius would never do something like that. Amicus sticks out his paw and presses it to a black square on the wall. The door slides open without a sound. I feel a rush of cool air come out of the room, and Amicus lets out a happy sigh as he steps inside. That's much better. My dad's advisor keeps the climate way too hot in the rest of the palace. I follow the wolf inside and look around. Aside from a few quirks, the room looks like it could have come from straight out of any luxury hotel on Earth. Amicus sits heavily on the bed, making it squeak. He starts to strip off his clothing. Toilet and bath are in there. He nods ahead at another door across from the bed. Then he jabs a thumb back at the large curtain. That's the balcony if you want to get some air, though I don't know why you would in this weather. And then he points at the couch. And that can be where you sleep, if that's alright with you. I've known other aliens prefer the floor, though. The couch is fine. I walk over to the red sofa, sizing it up. It's more than big enough, but as I pick up the little black pillow, I notice it's covered in fur. I inconspicuously pick some of it off before a light blanket smacks into the back of my head. There you go. Is that all okay? Yeah, this is good. I hope the blanket will be enough to keep off the cold that seems to be wafting down from the ceiling. Good. Like I said earlier, I'll show you the rest of the palace tomorrow. We'll get some real food, too. Amicus sprawls back on the bed, not bothering to draw up any blankets, his eyes closed. I actually want real food now, but I don't say anything and instead lay down, the sofa a bit harder than I expected. Good support, I guess. As I'm settling in, I think Amicus has already fallen asleep, but that's when he speaks again. And thanks, Marco. I don't know what he's thanking me for. For not killing him on the ship? For agreeing to help him become emperor? For the way I took this shitty sofa and flimsy blanket without complaint? I'm not sure. This is all I say is, sure. Then I hear the wolf snoring softly and the lights suddenly dim down until they're off. I lay there a while, though I'm not sure for how long. In fact, time seems to have lost all meaning since I was abducted. Amicus's brother said it had been 2 days, but didn't Amicus say that time freezes when traveling the stretch drive? Had we really spent that much time idling around? I need to stop thinking about everything that doesn't make sense, because that's basically everything. I just need to help this wolf so I can get the hell back home. Then I can pick apart everything I've been through all I want. For now, I just need to help things move along as smoothly as possible. With that thought in my head, and with the soft sounds of Amicus's gentle snoring, I'm lulled into a light and troubled sleep. The dream I have is strange. I'm in a black void of some kind, and despite the emptiness, I have some sort of purpose. I don't know what it is, but I'm being driven towards it. It's not a good dream. It's a borderline nightmare. The empty void isn't the scary part, though. It's the feeling that I'm being watched by someone, or something. It's the feeling that I have no say in where I'm going. No choice at all. I'm very curious about you. What? I'm limited in what I can ask, but I'll start with this. What is death to you? Oblivion. I see. Sometime just before I fully wake up, I hear something moving around behind me, followed by a mumbled voice, then a soft padding sound that fades out after a few moments. I wonder if one of my flatmates just arrived and looked into my room for some reason. As I shift around, I frown at how weirdly firm the bed I'm laying on is. My bed was softer than this when I got into it. And where are the sheets? I open my eyes and see a red, velvety surface in front of me. Then I turn over and see an unfamiliar ceiling with a gold square pattern above me. Oh yeah. I look over toward the bed where I expect to see Amicus, but it's empty. I stare again at the ceiling for a while, letting the sudden realization that I'm still here wash over me. I go over everything that happened yesterday, the last shred of hope that I'd been dreaming fading from my mind. I look over at Amicus's bed again, wondering if he'd gone into the bathroom. I listen for a while, but I don't hear anything coming from the door across from the bed. There's a muffled sound of what I assume are birds chirping coming from behind the curtain. Slowly, I slide off the sofa, feeling the cold marble against my bare feet as I do. I shiver and decide to bring the blanket with me, wrapping it around my shoulders. I shuffle around the sofa and move to the side of the large curtain to pull it back just slightly. The air that comes through is fresh, and immediately reminds me of camping by a lake during summer camp. That would make sense, because ahead of me is what looks like a massive body of water that seems to come right up to the edge of the balcony. It's warm, but not nearly as humid as it was last night. Pink and orange light paints the clouds on the horizon, and for a moment I take in the sight. The hills and mountains to either side of the lake are covered in lush green trees. So is the little island a ways out to my left. In the distance, on the other side of the lake, is what looks like a city of some kind. It's hard to tell how big it is since it's a good ways away, but from what I can tell, the buildings are massive, and the smaller structures that taper off to the side seem to stretch far off behind them. Dim lights from windows glitter in the distance, and I wonder if that city is full of wolves like Amicus and Cassius. Despite my situation, I kind of want to see it. As I watch, I see a small dark oval shape descend down toward the city, blinking blue and red lights. I have to smile and shake my head a little. I still want to go back to Earth, but this is undeniably amazing. I let the curtain slide shut finally and turn back to the room. So, where did that big wolf go to? He could have at least told me before he ran off. Good morning, Marco. I jump as the computer voice crackles overhead. I clutch my chest, breathing hard as the voice continues. Amicus has a message for you. There's a pause, then. Hey, Marco. I'm going to my morning meditation. It's in a room just down the hall, and I'll be back in approximately an hour. Why don't you take the time to get familiar with the room? There's a pause, then. Are you still recording, Com? Yes. To end recording, say end of message. Oh, see you soon, Marco. End message. Is it still... To end recording, say end of message. My gods, end of message. I hear Amicus starting to curse again before the message cuts off. I look around the room a bit, noticing how little there is to get familiar with. I could look through the dresser, but I assume that's mostly filled with Amicus's things, and I doubt he wants me to get familiar with those. I move across the room toward the bathroom door, standing in front of it for a moment before studying the black panel in the middle of it. It's similar to what Amicus used to open the door in the hallway. I reach out to try and push it, and the moment my fingers brush against the surface, the door slides to the side so fast that I jump. The lights inside come on, slowly illuminating the interior. I poke my head inside, then quickly step in, imagining the sliding door suddenly closing and chopping my head off. It stays open until I'm halfway in the room, then it closes automatically. There's a large sink to my left and an even larger mirror above it. In the corner, there's a marble-looking bench with a hole that I can only assume is the toilet. Finally, across from that is a large bath and what I imagine to be the shower. I actually really need to pee, so I head over to the bench and do my business down the hole, hoping that it's not something like a laundry chute and I'm pissing on the servants below. As soon as I start, though, water begins to pour down the sides of the tube, leaving me pretty sure that it is indeed a toilet. I guess I should be more confident in assuming things about this place. Everything is fairly similar to what I had on Earth. I walk over to the sink and push at the faucet. Then I stick my hand under it and water starts pouring out. I'm tempted to take a drink, but I notice the water is bubbly and soapy looking. Having nothing left to do in the bathroom, I turn back to the door and find the black square again. I reach for it, and just like before, the door slides open. If he thinks he's going to get away with it. Cassius is facing away from me, his arms folded as his bushy white tail swishes from side to side. I freeze up, staring at him wide-eyed. I have plenty of time to jump to the side, maybe hide in the shower area, but I just stand there like an idiot as the wolf turns around, almost in slow motion. He freezes just like I did when he spots me standing in the doorway. We stare at each other for a moment. For a very long moment. Then he screeches, making me jump back in shock. Oh, gods! Oedipal, what is that? The wolf dodges back and forth, as if expecting me to try and run at him. Kato! Kato, help! Come quick! Finally, Cassius' little dance of terror ends with him sprinting to my left and out of the room. I stand there for a moment, listening to his screams fade down the echoing hallway while wondering if I should hide or something. Maybe go back into the bathroom and try to lock it. Instead, I hear more thudding, someone running up the hallway from the other end. Then Amicus comes running into the room, sliding to a stop in the middle of it. He spins in a circle and spots me and runs up to me. What happened? Cassius came in and saw me. You let him see you? What? No! He just came in. Where were you? Meditating. I left a message. Where did he go? Cassius? He just ran off. Damn it! Amicus stands there, his tail thrashing back and forth. I glare at him. If you hadn't just left me here, this wouldn't have happened. Cassius shouldn't have even come in here. Amicus turns away and starts pacing back and forth. What are you doing? Shh, I'm thinking. I bristle a little at being shushed, but I stay quiet, watching the wolf stalk back and forth. And then I hear voices again. Cassius's, along with another deeper voice. Amicus turns to me. Just be quiet for a moment as I try to explain things. Understand? I glare at Amicus. His ears flatten and his expression becomes a bit more desperate. Please? I still don't say anything, but give him a curt nod. Amicus reaches out toward my shoulder, then pauses and instead offers me his paw to me. I take it and he gently pulls me from the bathroom to stand next to him in the middle of the room, facing the open doorway to the hall. Amicus fixes a confident smile on his face, though I can feel how tense he is next to me. From around the corner comes Cassius, but he's hiding behind someone else. Another wolf. They both stop in the doorway as the larger wolf takes in both Amicus and I. Amicus! What are you doing with it? Step away! Amicus gently places his paw around my shoulders, drawing me in against his bulk. Cassius's eyes widen at that, though the wolf next to him seems to have no reaction. Then again, that could just be because I can't see his eyes. What are you doing, Amicus? Amicus clears his throat. Cassius, Cato. He nods to each of them in turn. This is my pet, Marco. Cassius's mouth falls open. The other wolf, Cato, seems to shift a bit at that. Silence drags out. Then Cato shifts again. Is this where you were the past 2 days, Amicus? Amicus's arm tightens a bit around my shoulder, drawing me in closer. Yes. And that's where you took your father's ship? A slight pause. Yes. Cassius gasps. He can't do that. He glances at Cato. Can he? The bigger wolf is quiet, and even though I can't see his eyes, I get the feeling that he's watching me closely. Cassius turns his glare back on Amicus. Where the hell did it come from? Amicus rubs my arm. He came from far away. Is he a child? Yes. What? He can't just take someone else's child. Can he? Again, Cassius looks at Cato. And once again, Cato is quiet. Then he finally sighs. We will discuss this over breakfast, Amicus. Get dressed and bring that creature with you, as long as he's safe. Of course. Then we will continue the conversation there. With that, Cato turns on his heel and walks out of the room, leaving Cassius to look after him with a gaping mouth. He turns back on us, snarling. I don't know what you're planning with that thing, Amicus, but if I know you, it's going to be incredibly stupid. He takes another second to look at me with unmistakable disgust. You could have at least obtained one that isn't quite so ugly, you know. Leave, Cassius, and don't think about snooping around in my room again, understood? Cassius doesn't respond and simply walks away, looking over his shoulder just before he leaves. And expect to receive punishment from Cato for stealing father's ship. Absolutely outrageous. I watch Cassius's tail swish out of sight behind the doorway. Amicus lets out a huge sigh and I feel his chest deflate against my shoulder. Damn it! I sigh as well. You really didn't think all this through, did you? I slowly move out from under the wolf's heavy arm. Like I said, I made many mistakes. I'm just tired of lying now. You still told them I'm a child. Amicus brings a paw abruptly to his mouth, touching the pads of his fingers to his lips. It might not be a shushing gesture that I'm familiar with, but I know what it means. Amicus listens, his ears straight up and eyes looking up at the ceiling. Finally, he looks back at me, whispering. That is something I can never tell them the truth about, and it would be best if you never mention it again. Please. His suddenly serious demeanor cools my mood a little, so I just sigh again and sit on the edge of his bed. Amicus stands there awkwardly for a moment, then quickly moves over to the open door, placing a paw to the square to close it. He moves back over to me, his voice still lowered. Well, If we're going to pass you off as a pet, then I should probably get you familiar with your duties. My duties? I raise an eyebrow at Amicus. Amicus sighs. I understand your frustration, but we need to do this right if we want things to go as smoothly as possible. You don't have to do anything, but it will help you blend in better. I roll my eyes and lean back on my hands, looking up at Amicus. All right. What do I do? Well, first of all, I take my shower and... You help me wash. Help you wash? Yes, you would soap my fur and such. We stare at each other for a moment. It's something that the others wouldn't see, so I suppose it's not necessary. Unless you want to? No. Well, alright then, never mind on that one. Amicus is clearly offended. Listen, I'm not gonna soap up your naked body. Yeah, you made that clear. Anyway, I'd honestly rather skip the shower today, but spending all that time in the spaceship has left me rather unkempt. Amicus turns to the bathroom and opens the door. You should at least come into the bathroom while I shower in case Cassius decides to barge in again. You can stare at the wall or something. Amicus stalks into the bathroom and I have to smile as I follow him in, the door closing quietly behind me. Amicus notices me smirking. What? I shrug. Nothing. Just kind of funny that you got so huffy. I don't know what that means. Amicus is adjusting his underwear. Then it suddenly drops and I quickly look away. I suppose your people prefer modesty? Out of the corner of my eye, I can tell that Amicus has a smirk of his own. Around others, at least. And you guys don't just walk around naked, so don't you prefer modesty too? It all depends on the time and place. Amicus moves into the shower, and for the next 10 or so minutes, I sit on the counter while the room fills with steam. Once the water shuts off, a loud fan starts up and I glance over to see Amicus with his arms out, his fur blowing back and forth. He notices me look over, then look away again. You know... He has to almost shout over the fan. You could have cleaned up too if you'd shower with me, but you won't have time with breakfast coming up. You'll have to do it after. I shrug and wait as Amicus steps out and grabs clean undergarments hanging from a hook, which he spends the next minute tying on. Alright, balls are gone. You can look now. Actually, do you even have those? I don't want to assume. I open the door and head back out. Guess you'll never know. Amicus spends another minute in the bathroom, opening a door under the sink and rifling around in it. The next thing you're supposed to do is get the brush and oils from here. He lifts up a brush and a few glass bottles with colorful liquids inside, before coming over to stand in front of me. He sighs. I know you don't want to, and I realize now that I'm repulsive to you, but I can't really reach every part of my coat, and it would be strange if I called for a drone when I have a pet. I think about making another moody remark, but the expression on his face gives me pause. I suppose I am being a little bratty right now. Besides, what else am I going to do while I'm here? Sit on the sofa all day? I get up and take the brush from Amicus, and I see a surprised smile on his face. Thank you, Marco. He shows me how to apply one of the liquids, a honey-colored one, to the brush. It's a treatment for my fur. It keeps it soft and voluminous looking. Here, you just take the brush and run it with the lay of my fur. He hands the brush to me and then stands facing away. I start slowly and run the brush through the fur between his ears and down his broad back, watching as the slightly disheveled hair lines up and lays down smoothly. It accentuates his shoulder blades and the thick and smooth muscles in his back. I'm hesitant at first, but I become more confident with each stroke. Actually, it's kind of relaxing. That is until I brush down the left side of his neck, which makes him gasp. I pull back quickly. Sorry, did I brush it too hard? Amicus chuckles. No, that's just where you hit me earlier. Oh. I look closer and see that there is what looks like a lump under the fur. I carefully brush around it and move to Amicus's front. Amicus, meanwhile, has his eyes closed with a smile on his face, clearly enjoying himself. I am sorry about that, by the way. I was really scared when I did that. Don't worry about it. I deserved it for tying you up so poorly. Amicus gives me a wink. I feel my face grow a little hot as I focus on getting the fur to lay just right on his biceps. And you know, you're not repulsive to me at all. I was just being a dick earlier. You look good. Well, I suppose I was too. I shouldn't have made fun of your sensibilities. All aliens have their own cultures which are different, but that doesn't mean less valuable. Amicus's tone sounds weirdly rehearsed, like he's quoting something. And also, thank you, Marco. I think you look good too. He might just be returning the compliment, but it's nice to hear after what Cassius said. But I definitely wasn't lying, and now that I'm this close to him, I have to admit that he is a little handsome. His face is expressive and kind of charming, and there's just a generally friendly air about him. And, well, then there's his body. It's thick and masculine, just like a burly human, and I really can't deny that it's kind of appealing. Kind of. I start to brush down the wolf's front, feeling his chest and stomach rise against the brush with his breathing. I sculpt the lighter fur around his pecs to accentuate them better, since it seems that's how he was keeping it earlier. I can't blame him. And then I move to his belly, moving the brush over its thick and slightly rounded form. The muscles are less defined here, but I can still sense the strength underneath it all. As I brush the lower part of his midsection, I notice the crotch of his loincloth bulging out rather far. Alright, thank you, Marco, that should be good. He takes the brush from my hands and turns away, leaving me with the strong suspicion that he's adjusting himself, though he covers it up by pretending to mess with the other bottle. Finally, he turns around, looking flushed. Hold out your paws, please. I stick out my hands and he tips the bottle over, the liquid in this one having a purplish tint to it. Several drops fall into my hand. Immediately, my nose is filled with the lavender scent that I've been smelling off of Amicus since I first met him. Rub them together, then just sort of pat up my body and underarms, along my neck as well. I can tell Amicus is still flustered, so I do it quickly, not wanting to linger and cause the wolf any other problems. Maybe it just feels really good to be brushed like that. Is this like perfume? Yes, it keeps the muskier scents hidden for the most part. I see. Do you use perfume? Well, I guess I do wear something like that on my underarms. Feel free to use it then. I decide not to tell him that lavender scents are mostly for women on Earth. Besides, it does smell nice. Once the perfume is done, Amicus moves on to getting dressed, showing me how to drape his cape over his shoulders. Alright, so I know you only have the pair of clothes you came with, So I'll have a tailor drone come up later today to see if we can't make you more pairs of what you have. Oh, okay. Now, let's head to the dining room before we're late. Amicus pauses, frowning. Now, I know you won't like it, but you're going to have to feign some ignorance in front of the others. I raise an eyebrow. How so? Well, you're gonna need to act a bit dumb. The antagonistic feelings that I had been fading over the past few minutes start to rise up again. And how do I do that? Amicus shrugs. I don't know. Give them vacant stares, incoherent mumblings. Act like you can't grasp more than complex matters. The whole point is to make it seem like you're a typical child. I don't like it, but I don't want to have anything to do with those aliens, so if it'll make them leave me alone... Alright. Amicus lets out a breath, clearly relieved. Thank you, Marco. This may not always have to be the case, but for now, we need to play on the safe side of things. Just let me do all of the talking. You got it. Great! Now, let's hurry to the dining room. I don't want to make Kato more angry than he already is. And with that, I follow Amicus out into the hallway. So, who's Kato? The wolf you saw with my brother. He was my father's advisor and currently the acting emperor. I mentioned earlier that he'll be choosing between me and my brother. That's why I'm doing my best to keep him in a good mood. Or at least not a bad mood. I don't think he has a good one. I keep in mind to stay on Kato's good side as well. Meanwhile, sunlight pours in through the open windows, and I can hear birds calling from outside again. Birds. What was that? I can hear birds. I'm just surprised they sound the same as they do on Earth. Ah, yes. You wouldn't know this. All life has the same origin and develops in a roughly similar way. It's only natural that life here is similar to your moon. Planet, I mean. Oh. Well, all of life on this side of the universe, at least. There may be another, but we'll have to leave that conversation for later. For now... I follow Amicus around a corner and find myself standing in a large, spacious room. Which we'll get to next time. Because it's like 45 minutes. That's good enough. Breakfast takes a while. Yeah. More voices. Yay. It's always rough when there's just like two voices for a bit. Anyway, as always, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!